Welcome, Marisa, to Escape the Rat Race Radio, our Escapees episode. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm very good. And you?
I'm very, very good indeed. And now, Marisa, we have got a really lovely backstory because it was back in 2013 now when you contacted me online. And why don't you just tell the story of kind of how that came about quickly?
Yeah, well, so I was actually I was with my partner, Jamie, at the point, and I was like, I need to get him into this mindset thing, like to quit his job. We need to quit our jobs. So, and I was looking at that point for like-minded people. We were doing the real estate course from Rich Dad, Poor Dad Academy, or yeah, I think so. So I was like, we need to meet people in London. We need to look for like-minded people. And I don't know how I ended up in this thread that you had put something like, oh, who wants to play Cash Flow 101? That is the game, the board game from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I replied, and it's, yeah, until today, I don't know how I found you, but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were the only person that ever did find me. So we met up and we played the cash flow game together, and then obviously we stayed in touch. I also was doing some Rich Dad education at the time, so we were talking about property, and it was really those early days for us both. And it's been so amazing to see your progression every year since then. And we're going to find out today on this episode exactly what that journey has been like. So Marisa, let's just start off before we go into the details by, if you don't mind telling everyone listening who you are and what business you're in and what specifically that involves on a day-to-day basis for you right now.
Well, so yeah, my name is Marisa. I am originally from Argentina, but living in London for the last 6 years, 7. And so, well, me and my partner, so we have an e-commerce business, and we've been doing that for the last 4 years. I've been working full time since May 2016, so it's been great. And day to day, it involves a lot of mundane tasks, a lot of like dealing with the supply chain, with supplier, inspectors, customs, freight forwarders. And also we have a lot of interaction with customers, so that is really good. And then I need to split my day basically in a bit of everything, like a bit of marketing, a bit of customer service, a bit of supply chain, and a bit of financial analysis, and yeah, it keeps me very busy, let's say.
Yeah. And for anyone listening who maybe is not quite sure what e-commerce means, essentially just selling products online,
yes.
On the internet. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. It's like retail online. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Marisa, can you tell our listeners where you used to work and what you used to do before you started your online e-commerce business?
Well, I have a 10-year corporate career, always within the HR environment. I worked for big companies such as Accenture, Ernst & Young, EDF, and it was always around the human resources, either external consulting or internal, for example. So external and internal client facing, and that was where I developed. So that was my job, which was good, but nothing that I could call that fulfilled me entirely.
Yeah. And can you describe at what point you realized that you didn't want to work for somebody else any longer? And what were the first steps that you took to set about changing your situation?
Well, I think my first initial thought was when I was 20, so a long time ago, 14 years ago. And I don't know, I had this professor at university that he kept telling us, oh, you need to read this book, you need to read this book. And I was the only one that took his advice in my entire class. And the book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And from that day, I always say I never slept in peace again because I was always thinking that I needed to have my own business. My dad has his own, I would say, business lives. He's like a self-employed, and he was always telling me, no, don't get a job, work for yourself. That was the initial, trigger. But then life did what life wanted. And I ended up in a job at Accenture where I developed a lot of skills. That job, I think, taught me for life. Then I continued, and then I wanted to come to the UK 7 years ago. So I had to start by working on the things that I knew, that was HR. But then when I met my partner, Jamie, I said, enough is enough. We need to quit our jobs, and that's it. Because it was very long. I was already quite settled in the UK, and I could see that the scene in London is, there's no better place if you want to launch your own business than London. So I said, I need to take advantage of that. And when I started, when we started to go out and be together, and he started to change his mindset. He was a proper 9-to-5 guy. And well, I used some strategies to change a little bit his mindset and introducing him to this concept of being an entrepreneur. And then, we took it from there. So it was, 4 years ago, I would say that we started that.
Great. And how did you settle upon exactly what it was that you were going to focus on to generate additional income enough to be able to quit your job?
Well, so I've always really followed the path of one of my best friends, her boyfriend, by that time now her husband, was always very entrepreneurial, and he always did online stuff. For me, it was online stuff, and he did a variety of things. So one day before I came, on one trip to Argentina, I said, I need to show you to show me what you do. And he introduced me at that point to, for example, authority websites, monetizing via AdSense, Kindle. And so I've tried a few different things. I knew that online had to be the way, because I am not from here, Jay's from here, so we needed a mobile business to move around. And when the opportunity came, he told me, Marisa, if I started all over again, I would do this course that was about selling physical products on Amazon. I think we hesitated a little bit because the investment was big, but we went for it. And that's I think the online and the mobility around the online business was the drive.
Yeah. And if I'm correct, that was probably early 2014 or maybe back end of 2013. And so I guess there was a period of learning, obviously, generating those first few dollars or pounds online. And so what were the critical decisions that you had to make, Marisa, or the parameters that you set yourself to help you decide exactly when was the right time to hand in your notice and quit your job?
I think with my partner, we've always been very clear that it had to be on a gradual basis. We knew that we had to have some support and some let's say, or savings or plan B if things didn't work out, because neither of us, for example, have family here in London or in the UK. So it was mainly the two of us alone doing this. So we decided on a plan when I was going to go from full-time to part-time. So I did that. I went from 5 days a week to 3 days a week. And then when we said, okay, now we have to grow the business. The business has to grow. Otherwise, it will never provide us for our lifestyle. And that's when we decided, okay, I will quit my job, but Jay will stay until the next milestone, and how that's how we've done it. And very proudly to say that Jay will quit his job very, very soon. So,
that's fantastic. Well, congratulations, Marisa. So that's where you were. So let's fast forward now to part 2 of the interview, where you are today. So Marisa, how long ago is it now since you quit the rat race?
I quit the rat race on the 31st of May 2016.
Wow.
So no, it will be almost 2 years, not very far. And so it's been great. And now we have many products in different categories. We sell in 6 countries. We are still mainly using Amazon as our channel. But this year, so last year, we wanted to diversify, and we went through a bit of hoops, but we learned so much. And this year, we are ready to launch very different strategies and building one brand, for example, completely off Amazon. And then we are going to do, so a bit of wholesale, drop shipping, when Jamie, of course, is full-time on the business, because we need time for that.
Fantastic. And can you share with everyone listening, Marisa, what are 3 of the biggest realizations that you have had since transitioning from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur? So Marisa, can you share with us 3 of the biggest realizations that you have had since transitioning from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur?
One is that you need to be very comfortable with risk and uncertainty, because you never know what's going to happen. The second is that you really need to be very, very willing to put all the effort, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort from your end. And the third would be that there's that the lifestyle that I can provide is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. And what do you love most about having your own business?
Well, I think is my time, is like managing my time, it's like waking up early if I have to do something in the afternoon, or the other way around. So I think having that flexibility is amazing, and can be super, it frees you up. Yeah.
And you say free, but freedom really sums up what being an entrepreneur is like. So that's brilliant. And let's fast forward now into the future, Marisa. And part 3 of the interview is where you want to get to. So did you set yourself any goals or targets when you decided to leave your job and start your own business? And have you reached them yet?
Well, we set goals on an annual basis with the learnings of the year before. So I think that we've reached all the goals that we set for ourselves. That it was about launching new products, new countries, but we have goals, very clear goals for this year. So that's part of the planning work that we always do.
Brilliant. And do you feel as if you have greater potential to achieve your really big life goals now that you have more control over your time?
Yes, I do. I think I have much more control. It's just how much effort you put, and how able you are to pivot if things don't go as planned or as you wanted. Yeah.
Okay. And following on from that, what's the one most important thing, Marisa, that you believe will help you progress over the next 12 months?
I think keep positivity, being positive and meeting experts that could lead me on the way, and continue to do that, definitely.
Yeah. Always learning from mentors, those who have already stepped a few paces ahead, that can share the pitfalls and speed up the process of learning. Yeah. Well, Marisa, the final words for anyone listening right now who may be squashed on a train on their way to work, or stuck in that traffic jam, and they really want to do something different with their lives, but perhaps are still letting fear hold them back. What would your words of advice be to them?
I would say that I love the exercise that Tim Ferriss says in his book, that is all about the nightmare writing. Yeah, so write down all your nightmares, everything. Why are you so fearful? What are the most fears that you have? And then really categorize them. Are they likely to happen? Are they not? And what can you do to mitigate them? And from there, I will move on and then invest, and I cannot repeat this enough, in education, but from people that are renowned and people that have attraction and that have a name in the industry, because that will accelerate your learning curve and will reduce your fears and the risk, of course.
Excellent words to leave us on there, Marisa. Thank you so much for sharing your story on today's Escapees episode. And I look forward to seeing you at a future meetup, and wish you all the best success for 2018 and beyond.
Oh, you too. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, Christian.
Thanks, Marisa.